Good, Amber?
Good.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to welcome everybody to the meeting. Approval of the agenda. I'll make a motion. Approve the agenda. All in favor? Aye. Do I have approval of the minutes from the Wednesday, May 28th meeting? I'll make that motion. I'll second it. All in favor?
It should be over there.
I did,
Yep, both
sign them, yep, I got them. Good.
Okay, very good.
Do I have approval of the minutes from Thursday, November 20th, 2025 meeting?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great. Moving ahead, the 2024 annex property zoning classification public hearing. Need a motion to open public hearing. I'll make motion open.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Public hearing is.
So yes, we've got property zone annexed in 2024. Normally we would follow the zoning of the county, but because the county has it zoned agriculture, and on our map we've got single family 1, single family 2, 2-family, multifamily, local business, general business, and industrial and planned unit development. We do not have an agricultural zoning within our own zoning ordinance. Hence the reason why we would host a public hearing and zone that property to a zoning. It's called spot zoning, where we zone it within the bounds of our zoning ordinance. It becomes one of a plethora. And I guess if you've got, it's a piece of property on the way into town like that. If you equate it to something on the opposite end of town, we've got businesses in there, we've got residences in the area, and along the highway there, highway frontage is always or is, you can see the darker orange color. That's general business, which allows for residential as well, which opens it up. We had some interest previously in some multifamily housing in the northwest corner of that parcel and in the bigger parcel overall through an IHCDA grant. They wanted to do single family housing in there. But it stretches out quite a ways. And if we give someone the opportunity, whether it's any, whatever kind of business, insurance agency, something like Chester has down there, general business fills all the initiatives. It covers all those things.
Multifamily, you can do single family resident, you can do whatever you want if we zone it general business.
Yep. And it's not industrial, it's not smokestacks on the edge of town, but it is, it opens it up to what we may want to attract in those areas, which is development. Like we said in the last BZA meeting, a smaller home on a smaller piece of property outside of our development standards, even outside of our development standards, it improves and develops a piece of property that's now undeveloped. So it's sort of in the same vein as we want to improve our properties in town, beautify, grow, develop, general business, sort of feels, and I guess the difference between, the minimum lot dimensions of 20,000, and local business minimum lot dimensions is 7,500 square feet, 100-foot width versus 50-foot width. And then most of the other stuff is yard requirements, the same as local business. So, and it's 17 acres there. So, it's quite a piece of property.
Okay. And somebody here for the public hearing.
Yeah. Do we have any announcement? We'll elicit comment from public.
So I'm here responding to a letter that we had received. So my name's Ken Ashley, and I'm the treasurer for Jesus Cares Ministries. Dan Hamilton purchased the old Armory building And so we turned that into a church. And so we received this letter.
Yep.
Specifying parcels.
Yep, so it's
Got
your neighboring properties. So the neighboring properties are the ones who need to be alerted of it, that we're just zoning. There's no development yet, anything, but you'll get from our comments it was out of town. We annexed it into town, and the zoning that was on it in the county doesn't apply because we don't have agricultural as a zoning classification. So that is all, it's just a letter of notification that in, a nearby property is something's changing, basically. So that's where we come in and we have to notify all surrounding property owners of said change. So that's where we're at.
Great.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
And that's what I'm here for.
The development's great.
Yeah, so
We
nothing
love to see
changes for
that.
You guys.
No.
Okay. I'll
Yeah.
probably stick around for a few more minutes.
Yeah,
It's
no,
interesting,
no,
you
it's,
know.
yeah, glad to have you. Yep.
Thank you.
And you said Ken Ashley, is that common spelling on both?
Yes.
Okay, very good.
ASHLEY.
Great. Thank you, Ken. Yep. Glad to have you. We're glad somebody's interested. We get no interest ever in these things, which is good because I mean, if somebody's got a valid and general or a valid, reason to come and present a comment, then that's what we're here for.
Great.
Yep. And I think general business, I don't know, if somebody wants to go in there and they're not going to take up quite as bit of square footage of 20,000 square feet, 100 foot wide, it seems like, doubling the local business. But it's, local businesses, your downtowns where your buildings are smaller and they're closer together. Out there, things are a bit more spread out and larger as far as if it's under the general business. Now, if it's a single family residence goes in there and somebody wants to put in, 5 homes in the back there, then their lots would revert. It would only be 7,500. So it just depends on what goes in versus what the type of structure and is it a business or is it a home?
Yeah.
That doesn't apply to all the homes. That applies just to if it's a business falling under the category of a general business. And so we would make we can actually close the public hearing now if we want to make a motion to do that.
All in favor? Aye. Hearing's now closed. We need a
Recommendation, yep, a motion to recommend a zoning classification to the council for their adoption. I'll make a motion. We recommend general business zoning.
all in favor? Aye.
Isaiah, did you second?
Yeah, or no.
Anthony?
Somebody down there said-
Gotcha. Thanks, Tony. General.
Okay, so that's what you.
That's that. Yeah, absolutely. That's what and we'll put a letter together. I'll have Josh sign it. And probably as an attest myself, to the council for the meeting on the 19th. We'll inform them this evening. But and then once that ordinance is adopted, then that zoning will go into place.
Great.
Yeah, this is more of a housekeeping kind of thing than anything. It's just getting the zoning for the property. Yep.
Anyone else have any additional business?
I do. I would like to make a motion that we appoint Josh Brown, our planning commission president for the year 2026.
All in favor?
Huh?
Aye.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Okay, and I think that's all I've got.
So general business with this, so you had business going on
Mhm.
and there's room in the back.
Yep.
For housing.
Yep.
You wouldn't have.
No
to change
issue.
it.
You wouldn't, yeah, because it'll fall under that. It's much like next to between CVS and Family Dollar. There's that home that sits there. I forget who's there. I think it's
It's,
Pastor James is, yes. So much like that, where you can sort of fold both into, and across the street, they got a business as well, which is, it's kind of interesting, but that would be the hope. And that's the hope of the property owner, is to not necessarily just sell it and be done with it, but to try to develop something and find perspective. I'd love to see a grocery in there. In the rear section, if we had housing to, multifamily, whether it's somebody putting in some apartment units or what, that matches with what's next to our armory, multifamily room in the back there. And then if we could, you know, the more highway oriented placement would be our more general business. Yeah, that's what the hope would be, is to attract some business along the highway and residences along the back there.
Have we heard anything from the Howard guy?
Good question. I know Tony was going to, we mentioned it to Tony because there's a period, it's a time
Yeah.
period on that. And we've got a
Yeah,
meeting
okay.
tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah, we
haven't.
haven't heard anything from them.
It is,
Yeah.
no, it's been quite a while.
Got the
yeah.
foundation in and stop.
Somebody said he was building a couple other houses someplace else in the county right now.
Maybe sort of stopped that, went to those.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. We could give him a call. Maybe worth that. We'll
Yeah.
pull his permit, give him a call and just see what his timeline is. Cause yeah, it's not
Yeah,
good
I know
for
Tony
10
Benson
years.
had some questions.
Yeah, as well. Yep. Good call, Howard.
I saw something on KPI commissioners meeting today or tonight that on their agenda was something about annex property. That
So,
Judson annexed,
yeah.
and it would go back to the
So,
township or something.
yeah, so we have to, this is the sliver of property by Cravens. And it's what's his name? Guy who owns Cravens.
Oh, yeah.
I forget his name.
Zoo.
Yeah. So basically, the way the property line goes is our corporate boundary does this, and his property does this. And he wants to get this back into the county so he doesn't have to pay town taxes on this. And he came to the council meeting, and the council was like, we're not really in the business of giving land
right.
back to the county. And so now this is his next venture, is to try to go to the county meeting, I believe, because Justin called me about it on the Friday and was asking about it. And he said the name, and I knew right away. And I sort of gave him an insight, because Justin may have to recuse himself from over there. But it's one of those things, like, we would have to, I don't know what the process is for the county to claw that back from us. It feels like we would have to make the move to divest our interest in the property and place it back in the county. It's tough to annex. How tough is it to the opposite of annex? You know, I'm not all that sure. Not all that sure. But I was grateful, because I had heard that Justin calling. He's like, or I'd read it in the agenda and he called me about it. And Wayne Township it was. Yep, that's what it was. Revert back to Wayne Township.
I mean,
So
I
I'm
can't
grateful that Justin's aware.
Yeah, I can't really see, I mean, us putting forth the effort to give it back. And I can't see the county putting forth the effort to get this little
Take
it from us.
Yeah.
to take it
Yeah.
from us. So it's kind of one of those, I mean, it really benefits one person, the property owner.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yep. And those are dollars, you know, we build our budget based on dollars, and the dollars are based on our tax structure in what property resides within the corporate boundaries. You know, what's in the county is in the county, what's in town is town. And that's what we run our numbers off of for every expense, from PD to fire to the offices here to council, all those things. Payroll is all based on those numbers. And so, you know, we leave ourselves shorter, especially with SEA 1, not really knowing what the next 5 years are going to show. We're trying to grow our town and develop things, not the opposite. Good question though, because I forgot that came up. Yep.
Anybody,
Anything else?
anything? You're shaking their head. I don't have anything.
Motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion. Second it. All in favor? Aye.
guys.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming, sir.
Build that like that.
Likewise on the BZA. Yep.
Yeah, it's the same as what West Central's done in Winamac and
And then the problem is, and they're going to have to do this themselves, and we may want to stipulate this,